This is Unit 1, the Alphabet and Grammar of Geometry. Preview video lesson 1.2, the Grammar of Geometry, part 1. Be here in your preview notes, watching this on either the 24th or 25th, depending on A or B day, prior to the next class period. Don't forget to write down where you are watching this video, the date and time. Make sure you get a parent, guardian, or teacher sign-off. Please, I beg you, do not multitask at this time. Turn off your Facebook notifications, Instagram, turn off your cell phone. This will go much faster if you're focused. All right, this review page, I want you to attempt to do this on your own. And when you are finished, restart the video. Pause now. Welcome back. Let's check your work. You should be switching to your red pen to check. Let's do our algebra together here. We're going to distribute that -6, and we're going to distribute that 5. Negative times a negative is a positive, so that's going to be 36n. Negative times a negative is a positive, so that's plus 36 again, equals 5 times 4, 20, 5 times 7, 35n. Variables on one side, numbers on the other. So I'm going to minus 36, minus 36. So I'm going to have 36n equals, that's going to be negative 16 plus 35n minus 35n minus 35n. End up with positive n equals negative 16. Taking a look here, translating this sentence, we're going to draw a line K with a line AB intersecting line K at point R. We're going to draw a ray QR also intersecting line K. So you have a line K here. Doesn't matter which way it's tilted, but it is a line, so it should have arrows. Lowercase cursive a at either end. We're good with that. Intersecting another line, AB. So AB, another line, 2 arrows, capital A, that's a point A and a point B. Intersecting at point R, so R is right there. Then we have another ray QR. Now be really careful there. Remember, Q is the end point. R is towards the arrow. That means Q is off the line. You go through R either direction. Q's the end point. R's towards the arrow. That's a ray intersecting line K. So I could have gone that way, or I could have gone this way. It doesn't matter which direction, but Q is your endpoint, R is towards the arrow. Okay, last class we introduced the alphabet, point, line, ray, plane, and segment. Now we're going to talk grammar. How do the letters fit together? So the next 2 class periods, we're going to talk about logic. Logic. Today's lesson, watch out for these words: conditional, converse, inverse, contrapositive, hypothesis, and conclusion. Make sure you have your red pen handy to check your work. Conditionals. A conditional statement is an if-then statement. It implies a cause and an effect. A cause and an effect. All cause and effect statements are conditional. which means all advertisements are conditional. Every single advertisement you see, whether a written advertisement, a TV advertisement, a radio advertisement, it's basically claiming if you purchase this product, if, cause, then there is some sort of benefit. So here's a very simple example. Take a look at this Walmart ad. Just look at it for about 10 seconds. So it says Walmart, save money, live better. So it's implying if you shop at Walmart, then you will save money and live better. In the conditional up here, which statement is the cause? Technically, you don't see the cause, but it's implied. The cause is if you walk through Walmart. So the fact that you shop at Walmart. And then the effect will be that you will save money and live better. The cause is shopping at Walmart. The effect is save money, live better. When we have an if-then statement, in any conditional statement, the cause is called the hypothesis, and the effect is called the conclusion. Here's another ad. I'd like you to do is stare at this ad for a minute, and then I'd like you to write a conditional related to this ad, and then ask yourself, what is the cause of the order? You're going to fill that out yourself. Pause the video, do that yourself. Welcome back. That you should fill out yourself. I'm not going to fill that out for you. You come up with your own thoughts there. Let's talk more about hypothesis and conclusion. In the following statements, I'd like you to underline the hypothesis. And remember, the hypothesis is the cause. And box the conclusion, the effect. Ready? These three statements, underline the cause, the hypothesis, and box the conclusion or the effect. Do that yourself. Pause the video, do statements 1, 2, 3. Pause. Welcome back. Number 1 says, if you finish your homework early, then you can go to the movies. The conclusion is going to the movies. That's the effect. Whereas the cause or the hypothesis is finishing your homework. So the hypothesis, if you finish your homework, the effect or the conclusion is then you get to go to the movies. Number 2, if you eat a lot of vegetables, then you will be healthy. So if you eat a lot of vegetables, that's the hypothesis. You will be healthy, that's your conclusion or your effect. You may drive the family car when you get your license. Careful here, the cause is not always first. Your hypothesis here is when you get your license. And the conclusion is then you get to drive the family car. So watch it, the order can switch up on you. Now when you have a conditional, and remember a conditional, just put in parentheses, that's an if-then statement. There's 3 ways it can be modified. And this all is building up to our logic. The converse. Converse, inverse, contrapositive. Converse, you switch the orders. Inverse, negate or say the opposite of. Contrapositive, you switch and negate. This will make sense as we do the examples. Ready? Let me give you an example here. It says, if it is sunny this weekend, then we will go to the beach. That's our original conditional, our original if-then statement. If it is sunny, then we will go to the beach. Ready? Converse means to switch, so we just switch the order. And we'll write something like this. Now, this may or may not make sense, but for now, you just write it. So we write, if we go to the beach, then it is sunny. So notice the converse, I simply switch the order there. If we go to the beach, then it is sunny. Inverse. Inverse is you keep the same order, but you say the opposite of. This is the little symbol for saying the opposite of in this case. So watch. We go back to the original owner, sunny, beach, and we write if it is not sunny, then we will not go to the beach. So notice I kept the order, but I negated or said the opposite of. Contrapositive, you switch and negate. So the original is sunny, beach. Now it's not beach, not sunny. So we write it like this. If we do not go to the beach, then it is not sunny. So notice we switch and negate. Ready? I'd like you to take this page. You're going to take the original conditional and you're going to write the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive. When you are done, restart the video, check your work. Pause. Welcome back. Let's see how you did here. Get out your red pen so you can check your work. Our original conditional is, if you eat an apple, then you eat a fruit. If you eat an apple, then you eat a fruit. So that's the conditional. Apple, fruit. I'm going to shorten this up. Real simple. So I'm just going to use the word apple and here fruit. So converse, you switch the order. It would look like this. If you eat fruit, notice I'm shortening the grammar. Then, that arrow means then, you eat an apple. Notice, converse means just to switch. Inverse, you say the opposite of. So, if not eat apple, then not eat fruit. So inverse you negate, or say the opposite of, but you don't switch the order. Contrapositive, you actually switch and you negate. So you go back to the original here. So it says if you eat an apple, then you eat a fruit. So we're going to switch and negate. If not eat fruit, then not eat apple. Check your work, see if you manipulated that correctly. We are leading up to a logical conclusion here. Okay, now we're going to talk about something called truth value. Now you're going to actually analyze whether or not the statement is true. So ready? Let's take this one at a time. The conditional says, if you eat an apple, then you eat a fruit. So if you have an apple in your mouth, then you have a fruit in your mouth. And you ask yourself, is that true or false? Always. And yes, this one's going to be true because a fruit is an apple is a fruit. Got it? So that's a true statement. And when we say something is true, it's always true, no exceptions. Ready? Let's try the converse. The converse we switch. It says, if you eat a fruit, then you eat an apple. Take about 5 seconds and ask yourself, is this a true or a false statement? Well, you could eat a banana, can't you? And if you ate a banana, you're not eating an apple. So if you find one exception to the truth statement, we have to say it's false. You say, but wait, what if I am eating an apple and an apple is a fruit? But in this case, if there is a single exception, we have to call it false. So if you eat a fruit, then you eat an apple, logically is a false statement because there's exceptions to that. You could be eating a kiwi fruit or a strawberry or a banana or a pineapple. You understand? So we have to say it's false. Inverse. Inverse, the original apple fruit. Inverse, not apple, not fruit. So it reads like this. If you don't eat an apple, then you don't eat a fruit. Ask yourself, is that always true? No. Again, if you don't eat an apple, you don't eat a fruit. Again, you could be eating a kiwi fruit or a banana or a blueberry or strawberries. All right, so that because it has an exception, we say it's false. The contrapositive, this is where we switch and negate. So the original says apple fruit, reads like this. Now watch carefully. If you don't eat a fruit, then you don't eat an apple. Ask yourself, is that always true? And yes, that is always true. If you don't eat a fruit, then you can't have eaten an apple. You get that? So we get this this conclusion, if your conditional is an always true statement, the converse and the inverse may or may not be true. So we technically call them false. False just means not always true. There's an exception. But if the conditional is always true, its contrapositive is also always true. If the conditional itself is always true, the contrapositive is also always and true. Converse and inverse, there's going to be exceptions to the rule. So if the conditional is true, only the contrapositive is forced to be true. Just take a minute, go through these, and review these notes verbally to yourself. What did you learn today? Just take literally 1 minute. Verbally talk yourself through what you've learned. It will help cement the basic concepts in your brain.